You walk into your office break room, just trying to eat lunch like a normal human being, and there's a grown man, 6 feet tall, built like he thinks he's untouchable, getting his blood pressure checked by HR. And the second he sees you, he points and screams that you tried to poison him. Now, here's the twist. You didn't do a single thing wrong. You just really, really like spicy food. If you have ever been underestimated, overlooked, or had someone take something from you and then have the audacity to blame you for it, this story is going to feel like a warm hug and a standing ovation all at once. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and buckle up. Because this is one of the most accidentally perfect revenge stories I have ever come across. And the best part? She didn't plan a single second of it. Our storyteller, let's call her Maya, is relatively new to her job at a small company tucked away in rural North Carolina. She moved down from New York a while back, and while she settled in well enough, there are still cultural gaps that quietly remind her she's not exactly where she grew up. The office itself is the kind of place that runs on vibes and informality. There's a full break room, real kitchen, full fridge, freezer, even an oven. No strict posted rules about what's shareable and what isn't. Some food is communal, some is personal, and everyone's just supposed to respect that invisible line. Maya learned early on not to trust that system. So she brought her own small lunch bag, a little floral one, the kind that quietly says, "This is mine, please don't touch it." She kept it separate. She never dipped into other people's food. She just wanted to eat her lunch in peace, go back to her desk, and do her job. Simple, right? Here's the thing. Nobody told Maya when she started, at least not directly. There had been a rash of food thefts in that office. Not once, not twice. A pattern, a habit. Someone, or maybe a few someones, had been helping themselves to other people's meals on a regular basis. And in that uniquely exhausting way that workplace cultures sometimes develop, everyone had just decided to suffer in silence. No confrontation, no posted notes on the fridge, no HR complaint, just quiet, simmering frustration that nobody talked about out loud. At least, nobody talked to Maya about it. So she had no idea. She was walking around the office every day, completely unaware that there was a predator among them. Someone who looked at other people's carefully packed lunches and saw an open buffet. Now let's talk about the lunch in question. The day this story takes place, Maya had brought in leftovers from the night before. Chori-Pollo, a gorgeous, smoky, deeply satisfying dish made with chorizo and chicken. And she'd made it the way she likes it. Spicy. Not, oh, a little kick spicy. Not mild salsa spicy. We're talking about the kind of spicy where even Maya, a woman who grew up eating food that would make most people reach for a gallon of milk, took her first bite and thought, okay, I may have gone slightly overboard this time. The kind of heat that builds slow and then hits you like a wall. The kind that makes your eyes water, not because you're sad, but because your body is genuinely trying to process what just happened. She packed it up anyway, because she's built for it. She heads to the break room at lunch, probably thinking about nothing more dramatic than whether she remembered to grab a fork. And that's when she walks into what can only be described as a scene. A situation. There's a cluster of coworkers standing around looking somewhere between concerned and confused, and in the middle of it all is a man named Brent. Now, Brent deserves a proper introduction. Brent is one of those guys. You know the type. Older, tall, well over 6 feet, carries himself like the rules of the room bend slightly in his direction just because of his presence. The kind of man who has spent decades being the biggest, loudest, most confident person in most rooms he walks into. He prides himself on being tough, on being macho, on being the kind of guy who doesn't complain, doesn't fold, doesn't show weakness. He's the last person in that office, or on the planet, you'd expect to see sitting in a chair while the HR lady takes his blood pressure. But there he is. And the second Brent's eyes land on Maya, this 5'0" woman, soft-spoken, new to the job, carrying absolutely zero threatening energy, something shifts in his face. And he loses it. "You!" he shouts. "You tried to poison me!" Maya stops, blinks. The entire break room goes very, very quiet. She looks around trying to figure out if she somehow stepped into someone else's story, because she genuinely cannot connect what she's seeing to anything she has done. She came to eat a leftover lunch. That's it. That's the whole plan. But Brent is not done. He's red in the face, and not just from the spice, going on about how the food was inedible, how no human being would willingly eat something like that, how she must have done something to it deliberately. And here's where it all starts to click into place. Because as Maya stands there listening to this man rant and accuse her, and as the pieces slowly come together, she realizes what happened. Brent had stolen her lunch. Her little floral lunch bag, sitting in the fridge minding its own business, had caught Brent's eye. And Brent, operating under the assumption that nothing in that fridge was truly off-limits to him, had helped himself. He'd opened it up, smelled the Chori-Pollo, maybe even thought it smelled pretty good, and he'd eaten it. And then the heat hit him. Not immediately. That's the cruel genius of real spice. It lets you think you're fine. It gives you maybe 30 seconds of false confidence, lets you take another bite, and then it arrives. A wave of fire that starts at the back of your throat and radiates outward. Your eyes start watering. Your lips feel like they're being held over an open flame. Your heart rate picks up. And if you have absolutely no tolerance for capsaicin, if your entire life has been spent in a food culture that leans sweet, mild, and gentle, your body doesn't know what to do with that information. Brent's body, specifically, apparently decided the appropriate response was a minor cardiovascular panic. Hence, the HR lady and the blood pressure cuff. Maya, to her tremendous credit, keeps it together. She explains, calmly, that the food was hers, that she likes spicy food. That's just how she cooks, how she's always cooked, where she's from. That she had no idea anyone would take it, that she certainly didn't prepare it as some kind of trap. And as that explanation lands in the room, something shifts. Because everyone is doing the math now. Brent didn't just eat something spicy and have a reaction. Brent ate something that wasn't his. Brent stole Maya's lunch. And then, rather than sit quietly with that shame, he had the absolute nerve to stand up, point his finger at the woman he stole from, and accuse her of poisoning him. The silence in that break room is the kind that has texture. And then, like slow justice delivered on a silver platter, it all unravels for Brent at once. Not just the fact that he's been caught stealing, not just the fact that his big dramatic accusation has completely backfired, but the specific, beautiful, almost cosmically perfect irony of who is standing across from him. Maya, 5 feet tall, quiet, the new girl, the woman from up north that some people probably assumed couldn't handle the pace of Southern office life, let alone defend herself. She didn't plan this. She didn't set a trap. She just packed her lunch the way she always does, and the universe handled the rest. Brent, the big, macho, untouchable Brent, had been brought to his knees by a floral lunch bag and some leftovers. The coworkers who had been silently losing meals for months? Watching this man get exposed as the thief in their midst, the satisfaction on their faces must have been something to see, because now they know. Now everyone knows. Brent is a food thief. And Brent cannot handle his spice. 2 facts that will follow him around that office for a very, very long time. Maya didn't raise her voice. She didn't plan a single second of what happened. She just showed up, told the truth, and let the spice do the rest. Here's what I keep coming back to with this story. The best justice doesn't always come from elaborate schemes or perfectly executed plans. Sometimes it comes from simply being yourself. From cooking your food the way you like it, carrying your little floral lunch bag, and trusting that eventually, the people who take what isn't theirs will find their own way into a reckoning. Brent handed himself every consequence he got. Maya just showed up. And that, honestly, might be the most satisfying kind of revenge there is. If this story made you smile or gave you a little shot of justice straight to the heart, smash that like button and drop a comment below. I want to know, what is the most satisfying accidental revenge you have ever witnessed? No planning required, just karma doing its thing. And if you're new here and you love stories like this, stories where the little guy wins and the Brents of the world get exactly what they deserve, subscribe, because we've got plenty more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.